Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH Rebirth of Emperor Yang episode number 287 based on novel. So let's start. In the secret room, Xiao Yan stayed for more than 2 months. During this period, Xiao Yan's mind repeatedly recalled the whole process of the black-robed man's sneak attack that day, which was abrupt and desperate, making him fall into grief and resentment again and again. With his memory, Xiao Yan also recognized that the black-robed man was Xu Zhen who pursued them with Tang Long when he and his party first arrived in the central region, and from the situation of that day, in Xu Zhen's body, I'm afraid there is a strong soul, otherwise, such combat power will never break out. Recognizing that it was Xu Zhen, Xiao Yan's intention to kill naturally rose, but then he was quickly pressed down. Although he wanted to tear Xu Zhen to pieces immediately, Xiao Yan was not a fool. The First World War had just passed. Because of the prestige of the dragon family and the power of Yun Xianzong, the war was dangerous. Xu Zhen is a disciple of Dui sect. If you want to kill him, it is bound to affect Du Erzong again. At that time, the dispute will arise again, but Long Lin may not be able to do it again. As for Xu Zhen, Xiao Yan must kill him himself. However, as far as today is concerned, even if Xiao Yan has a lot of resentment in his heart, these can only be pressed in his heart before he has enough strength. In short, strength is the foundation that he can level all this. Strange fire. In the dark room, the light was dim. Xiao Yan's dark eyes inadvertently flashed like stars in the night. Different fire has once again become his biggest reliance. Only by finding different fire can his cultivation be promoted in a short time and avenge the dead little medical immortal. However, where are the remaining 2 different fires? Xiao Yan doesn't know this. If you don't know, as the spirit of different fire, you may know some special secrets, and at this time, the latter is in Tianyun Villa. Boom! In a heavy roar, the closed door of the secret room finally opened slowly. Liana, who was guarding the door, was first shocked. Seeing Xiao Yan stepping out of the secret room at the moment, the latter's pretty face couldn't help showing a bitter color. For more than 2 months, Xiao Yan's face was haggard, and the whole person's appearance was becoming thinner and thinner. A face was strangely white, as if it had climbed out of the dead, but at the moment, in its pair of painted black eyes, there was a burst of eager fire, which was the opposite of all this. Take care of her. Xiao Yan's eyes were slightly fixed on Liana. As a disciple of the little medical fairy, Liana is becoming more and more important in his eyes. The little medical fairy is dead. No matter what, he will never hurt her only disciple again. Hearing the speech, Liana nodded quickly. Then, Xiao Yan left here directly. With the subtle connection between different fires, Xiao Yan could vaguely detect the location of the candle at the moment. As expected, it should be the square where the Cloud Sacred Vessel list is located. Along the way, Xiao Yan ignored the surprised eyes from the people of the Luo family. However, in a moment, he appeared on the square. The candles were here, but Xiao Yan suddenly had an illusion that this guy was waiting for his arrival. At the moment, the latter was standing in front of the Tianyun Holy Wear list, as if he didn't notice Xiao Yan's arrival. A pair of old eyes slowly swept over it, and couldn't help smiling and nodding. 5th on the list, Tai chart. In this way, Tai chart should have been repaired. It's really surprising. Xiao Yan had already come behind him when the candle was amazed. Just as he was about to speak, he saw the candle turn around and said with a smile, "Little guy, do you know what ranked first on the Cloud Holy Wear list this day? I don't care what it is, I just want you to tell me, in addition to you, there are other different fires in the Middle Kingdom. Where are you?" Ignoring the questions raised by the candle, Xiao Yan went straight to the theme. This time, he didn't want to wait more for a moment. Since the little guy wants to ask for advice, he should have the appearance of asking for advice. How can I tell you? Seeing this, the fire candle didn't have any dissatisfaction, but smiled slightly with a sense of banter, turned around and ignored it. He continued to focus on the black stone tablet in front of him, looked at the ancient mysterious symbols and seal characters on it, and couldn't help being surprised for a while. After that, Xiao Yan looked at the old man in front of him. His mood was tight immediately, and he wanted to make a voice to urge, but the fire candle suddenly turned his head and shot a dark look, and his voice said half-jokingly, "Little guy, I've been wandering the mainland for so many years. As a result, I don't even have this snack." As soon as he said this, the fire in Xiao Yang's eyes dissipated in an instant, together with the whole person's hurried mood, and his breathing stopped for a moment. When he regained consciousness, the whole person immediately changed his face and gasped violently. He couldn't help but burst out a cold sweat in front of and behind him. It didn't gradually stabilize until a long time later. Looking at the candle that seemed to have done nothing in front of him, Xiao Yanmu was shocked. Then he bowed respectfully to the old man and apologized. "I have offended you so much. Please forgive me." Hearing the speech, the fire candle raised his hand again, turned around and said with a smile, "It doesn't matter. I don't care. It's understandable that my beloved gave up his life and left. But remember, irrational anger can't do anything. As for your previous questions, I can answer you, I don't know." As soon as he said this, Xiao Yang suddenly looked up and stared at the fire candle with an incredulous face. There was mutual induction between different fires. Moreover, different fires in the world had already turned into spirits, and their mutual awareness was much clearer. If there were different fires in the middle region, the fire candle should have been aware of them. How could he say he didn't know? Don't think so much. I won't deceive you. If I don't know, I don't know. The different cremation spirit is true, but they will hide their breath. Otherwise, once some strong people find out, even the cremation spirit can't hide. As soon as Huazhu said this, Xiao Yang immediately frowned. If so, isn't it difficult for him to find a different fire? In this way, the hatred of the little medical immortal. At the thought of this, Xiao Yang's face suddenly became a little heavy, but then the candle smiled again and said, "I really don't know where there are different fires in the Middle Kingdom, but I can recommend someone for you. That person must know." "Who?" Xiao Yang stared round, as if he had grasped the straw again, and his eyes were filled with enthusiasm. "Ancestor Dantar, medicine pill, Father Dantar." Hearing Huazhu's words, Xiao Yang was stunned. Even though he had no choice but to smile bitterly, Dantar was a real big power in the mainland, and Dantar's ancestor was detached. He still hasn't seen the appearance of the Xiao family, let alone the identity of the former. It can be said that Huazhu's words really have nothing to learn from. Yes, Father Dantar has traveled to the mainland and seen many secrets of the mainland that others can't check. If there are still different fires in the central region, I believe he must know. As long as you can see him, it's not difficult to know the news about different fires. The candle smiled, nodded, and said. Smelling the speech, Xiao Yang had to shrug helplessly and ignored this one for the time being. Regardless of whether the ancestor of Dantar knew it or not, Xiao Yang thought he couldn't do it, let alone mention others. Alas! Since there is no other news of strange fire now, it is hard to improve his cultivation in a long time in the future. Thinking of this, Xiao Yang couldn't help sighing. There is no strange fire and the revenge of the little medical fairy. How can he repay it? Dui sect is a super force in the middle region after all, and the sect has rich heritage. Shu is really the source emperor, of course, the treatment in the sect will not be too low. If it goes on like this, I'm afraid Shu Zhen has become an unmanageable opponent before he grows up. In addition, Dui sect and the soul body in his body make Xiao Yang feel great pressure. After this battle, the little doctor immortal fell, and he and Dui Zong have reached the point of immortality. However, for now, this kind of words can only be said at most. If you want to avenge the little doctor immortal, it needs more than courage. There is no strange fire. With Xiao Yang's cultivation speed, it is difficult to kill Shu Zhen for revenge even for another 10 years. Is that it? Xiao Yang's heart is heavy. All he can think of is the Xiao family. This strange family, whose relationship is still unknown, may become a cornerstone for his rapid growth, but how it is, we still have to wait until Xiao Yang arrives at the Xiao family. From this point of view, the Xiao family cannot be trusted. Hehe, little guy, why bother too much? Although other strange fires can't be found for the time being, there's one in front of you now. While Xiao Yang was feeling sad, the candle smiled and said. Hearing this, Xiao Yang was stunned immediately, But then he shook his head and smiled wistfully. Master, this is a bad thing for the younger generation. You saved the younger generation twice. How dare the younger generation hit you with your attention? What's more, you are still the elder of Yangxianzong. If something happens to you, it's not easy for Yangxianzong to explain. Haha, I appreciate your kindness and kindness. You don't have to care about me. There will be someone to take care of Yangxianzong, and you just need to do one thing for me. While laughing, the candle took out a rusty badge from the ring and handed it to Xiao Yang. Starting with the badge, there is a heavy feeling. With this slightly primitive shape, it can be seen that the badge has been for some years, but in addition, Xiao Yang can't see its particularity. Master, this badge is the object that I made an agreement with an old friend. Now it's time to give it back to him. You just need to hand it to him for me. Hearing the speech, Xiao Yang could not help but be a little chilly. It was an agreement between Xiao Yang and his old friends. It should be returned by Huazhu himself. Of course, he couldn't easily take it in his hand. When Xiao Yang wanted to return it to Huazhu, the latter raised his hand and stopped it, saying, I haven't seen that old friend for many years. If I go to return it myself, I can't guarantee that he won't hit me. Therefore, this badge is still with you for the time being. If you meet him in the future, you can return it to him. Remember, the man's name is Liu Ya. If you meet him in the future, you must not be careless. In the end, the candle was a cautious reminder. When Xiao Yang heard Liu Ya's name, he thought of the old man of Liu Tsungcheng in the southern region for a moment. However, he also knew that although he had the same name, since he was a character that could be mentioned by fire and candle, he would not be much worse if he wanted to be compulsory. At the moment, he nodded gently, wrote down the name secretly, grasped some rusty badges in the handshake, and hesitated. That's why I put it into the ring again. Seeing that Xiao Yang took the badge into the ring, Huazhu nodded, then turned his voice and said with a smile. By the way, you haven't answered my question yet. Do you know what ranked first on the Cloud Holy Wear list that day? Previously, he only focused on asking about different fire, but directly ignored the words of fire and candle. At this moment, he heard again that Xiao Yang's expression on his face was stunned. His sight turned back to the black stone tablet in front of him. The first position on it was clearly empty, but in this case, why did fire and candle ask so? After a long time of fruitlessness, Xiao Yang had to smile bitterly, shake his head, arch his hand at the old man in front of him, and respectfully said, I hope you can make it clear. Hearing the speech, Huazhu immediately grinned, and his turbid old eyes looked at the stone tablet behind him again. Even if he slowly raised his head and looked into the blue sky above his head, the latter also looked into the distance, and then looked at Huazhu. Looking at the deep look in Huazhu's eyes, Xiao Yang couldn't help raising his eyebrows and exclaimed, Is it heaven? As soon as he said this, the candle pursed his mouth and smiled, but he didn't explain more. Just when Xiao Yang was full of doubts, he said, Well, I'll say so much for the time being. You must know what this is in the future. You should have a good rest in 2 months. It's not too late to come back to me when everything is ready. Hearing the speech, Xiao Yang's eyelids were slightly low. He immediately nodded slightly. Then he bowed to the old man and hugged his fist, and then withdrew. Looking at the figure of Xiao Yang leaving, the candle couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. He turned and looked at the black stone tablet in front of him again, with a brilliant twinkling in his eyes. A moment later, when Xiao Yang returned to his residence, he found that Xiao Jin was waiting for him here alone. At the same time, Xiao Yang was surprised to see that in Xiao Jin's hands, he was holding 2 crystal stones emitting purple light energy. Inside the house, Xiao Yang looked at the little gold holding 2 crystal stones in front of him. He couldn't help but gently raised his eyebrows, and a look of surprise appeared on his face. The latter quickly got up with joy and came to Xiao Yang and handed over the things in his hand. Hey, last time brother Xiao Yang hurried into the secret room, and it was inconvenient for Long Lin to be on the side, so he dragged it until now. Xiao Jin smiled thickly, but his eyes revealed a cunning meaning. Although this guy always talks with childishness, he is also quite careful. At the moment, he saw Xiao Yang, so frank. Seeing this, Xiao Yang couldn't help smiling. He took 2 purple crystals from the former's hand and said with a slightly surprised look on his face, "This is the best spirit stone, hey hey." Xiao Yang's expression suddenly stagnated when Xiao Jin said this. He stared at the 2 purple spirit stones in his hand and was even more shocked. This is the real treasure above all the spirit stones and the most pure and huge energy in heaven and earth. In Xiao Yang's past cognition, it also belongs to the legendary level, but unexpectedly, he really saw it today, still in your own hands. This thing. Shocked by it, Xiao Yang also quickly looked up at Xiao Jin in front of him. He naturally knew the value of the best spirit stone, but because of this, he must understand the origin of the spirit stone. If Xiao Jin, brother Xiao Yang, can rest assured that the Lingsha was given to me by the patriarch's grandfather, but I'm useless, so I'll prepare it for you. You need these things now. Xiao Yang seemed to see the worried color in Xiao Yang's eyebrows. Xiao Jin grinned. Although he said this carelessly, Xiao Yang understood that it was the best cultivation resource, and why it was useless. This was the boy's heart thinking about him, so he was reluctant to use it. When he thought about it, Xiao Yang immediately felt a warm current in his heart and experienced it outside. He is worried about his safety all the time. He seldom misses Xiao Jin, but the latter always keeps himself in mind, which makes him feel guilty. Keep the spirit stone, but don't tell the dragon scale. That guy is always staring at me and won't let me leave. But he's stingy. If he knows, I'm afraid he'll have to tell the patriarch. Grandpa. Xiao Jin scratched his head and complained, but Xiao Yang smiled. Naturally, he could understand the intention of the dragon family. Let the dragon scale follow Xiao Jin, but he didn't want an accident. Since the leader of the dragon family could give Xiao Jin the best spiritual stone, the best cultivation resources, it was enough to see that they attached importance to Xiao Jin, but now it's useless to say these things, after all. Since Master Long Lin already knows, why don't you stand outside and refuse to come in? Xiao Yang raised his hand and patted Xiao Jin on the shoulder. Then he turned and faced the door. He respectfully hugged his fist and said, "Hehe, Mr. Xiao Yang is polite. Xiao Jin regards you as his brother. I usually treat him like my brother. This title is too rusty. You can call me by my name in the future." Xiao Yang's voice fell, and Long Lin walked forward as expected outside the door. However, looking at this, he should have just arrived. At this moment, Xiao Yang couldn't help being surprised. He looked at Xiao Jin with a cautious face on one side, smiled, hugged Long Lin and said, "Brother Long Lin." The latter smiled and nodded, and then his eyes fell back on Xiao Jin again, and he said with some bewilderment, "You boy, the patriarch gave you the best spirit stone at the beginning, but in order to quickly improve your cultivation, so that you can step into Yuanzhong earlier, I didn't expect you to put it away by yourself." Hearing the speech, Xiao Jin turned his lips stubbornly and refuted. "What's the matter? The Lingsha was given to me by the patriarch, so I'll keep it. Besides, my cultivation has entered the Yuanzhong, and I can't live up to your expectations." As soon as the words came out, Long Lin smiled bitterly. Although the boy's attitude was a little fierce, he said it well. Xiao Jin Xiu was promoted to the 6-star source sect, which was beyond their expectation. If the efficacy of the best spirit stone was excluded, the talent shown by Xiao Jin would be too terrible. When Xiao Yang heard this, he could not help but frown. Knowing the importance of the spirit stone, he looked at the dragon scale again and said, "In that case, I think it's better to take back the spirit stone, and don't disappoint the patriarch." With that, Xiao Yang wanted to return the spirit stone in his hand to Long Lin, but the latter quickly waved his hand to stop it and said with a smile, "Brother Xiao Yang doesn't need to be like this. Xiao Jin is right. Since his cultivation has entered the source sect, the patriarch naturally feels relieved for the time being, and the Lingsha is also handed over to Xiao Jin by the patriarch. How to dispose of it should also be distributed by him. Since he has given the Lingsha to you now, you can take it safely." Hearing Long Lin's words, Xiao Yangang wanted to say more, but Xiao Jin stopped him. After the latter insisted, Xiao Yang took the 2 spirit stones into the ring with a grateful face. After receiving the spirit stone, Xiao Yang and Xiao Jin naturally had a chat about the past. Long Ping left for them on an excuse. On the other hand, Luo Jin followed Li Bingrui with a silly smile. It also showed that some elders in the villa were crying and laughing. They also had a taste of expectation. Villa leader Luo Cheng manages the affairs in the villa and is busy every day. Only in the secret room, White Birch and Liana, as well as the fallen little medical fairy, are waiting here lonely. In the next few days, Xiao Yang found Luo Jin and entrusted a Dan prescription to the latter. Although Xiao Yang had more than half of the herbs he needed, he still needed some special key things. Fortunately, he is now in Tianyun Villa. He has huge resources and many people in Tianyun Villa. It is not difficult to find these things. As for the pill described above, it is the 6th level pill prepared by Xiao Yang for swallowing different fire, casting soul pill. In a short week, all the hundreds of medicinal materials needed on it were collected. In case of emergency, as many as 3 of these medicinal materials were prepared. This also shows that Tianyun Villa attaches great importance to Xiao Yang. However, although the medicinal materials had been collected completely, Xiao Yang did not open the furnace to refine the medicine immediately. After some hesitation, he took out the 2 best spirit stones given to him by Xiaojin first. Since Xiao Yang's cultivation breakthrough to Yuan Huang, his soul power has made further progress. Although he can barely be called a 6th level herbalist, this is still a single statement. So far, Xiao Yang has not refined any 6th level pill, so the authenticity of this identity naturally needs to be studied. Although all the medicinal materials needed to refine the soul casting pill have been collected, Xiao Yang chose to improve his strength first in order to protect 10,000. On the other hand, the improvement of cultivation can naturally increase Xiao Yang's chances of successfully refining and casting soul pill. At this time, absorbing the heaven and earth energy in the best spirit stone can not only provide a little help, but also use this period of time to precipitate his cultivation. Otherwise, if he continues to refine the best spirit stone without complete consolidation after swallowing the different fire, the results obtained are bound to be discounted. Therefore, it is most appropriate to absorb the energy from the best spiritual stone at this time. In the quiet room, the bright sunshine outside the door fell on the floor of the room through the window, leaving a mottled shadow. At the moment, Xiao Yang was sitting on the bed, his eyes closed, his hands made practice knots, and the internal burning formula skill was running. Between his breath and breath, he was lying quietly on the best spiritual stone in his arms. That is, there will be strands of pure energy flowing into the body along Xiao Yang's breath, and then through some simple refining, and finally condensed in the cyclone. Compared with the high-grade spirit stone used by Xiao Yang in the past, the best spirit stone is really different. The energy contained in it is particularly pure, which seems to have reached the point of direct absorption. In contrast, the energy of heaven and earth in the best spirit stone is more huge. With this one alone, Xiao Yang has enough confidence to break through Samsung. If the 2 spirit stones are fully absorbed and refined, it must be possible for their cultivation to reach the 4-star Source Emperor and even the 5-star Source Emperor. At the thought of this, Xiao Yang's mood could not help becoming hot. He was more eager to refine and absorb the spirit stone. With the rapid operation of Xiao Yang's burning dew skill, pure and huge energy poured into his body, and huge energy poured into his meridians. Xiao Yang's body could not help shaking. After a long time, he gradually became familiar with and adapted. With the rotation of his mind, the huge energy moved in an orderly manner. After a week of running along the path of burning dew, he merged into the cyclone space and became a part of Xiao Yang himself. The majestic energy of the whole body made Xiao Yang's breathing a little faster. Fortunately, those energies did not have any violence. Although they were pure and majestic, they were also mild. Under such endless refining and absorption, Xiao Yang's own breath also rose rapidly, and there was also a violent fluctuation with the void around him. Under Xiao Yang's refining, the source qi in his body gradually became abundant, and everything began to slowly get on the right track. In terms of Xiao Yang's cultivation, although the energy contained in the best spirit stone is huge, it will not make him feel any panic. Everything goes smoothly like clouds and flowing water. As for which step can be reached after absorbing and refining all these 2 spirit stones, it depends on the result of the time. After Xiao Yang entered the slow refining state, his courtyard also became a forbidden area of Tianyun Villa. Outside, Bai Hua and Liana still patiently stood by the ice coffin. Although Li Bingrui was stubborn, the ice heart that would not melt for 10,000 years was still slightly touched by Luo Jin's mind. At the same time, on the other side, at the top of the mountain of adversity, the top of the Ju Peak, Shu really sat around. With the last ray of energy in his body flowing into the cyclone, he slowly opened his eyes, but his eyebrows frowned slightly, showing a reluctant color in his eyes. He clenched his fist and felt the power that didn't change much in his body, and his eyes couldn't help passing a gloomy color. It's been 2 months. Although all the injuries have recovered, this cultivation has not been effective. It's still a long distance from Yuanzhong. In 2 months, Xu Zhen completely recovered from the heavy blow of the last time. Although his cultivation was slightly improved, it was also very little. In addition, Xiao Yang was not dead, which made Xu Zhen more dissatisfied. Hehe, what are you anxious about? Since your cultivation has reached this stage and broke through the source sect, it's not a matter of time. As for Xiao Yang, he escaped a disaster last time. Next time, we must ensure that he has no way to live. In the void on one side, the poisonous figure slowly emerged and patted Xu Zhen on the shoulder with one hand. There was a dark color in his dark old eyes. He didn't notice the faint cold light passing through the depths of his eyes when Xu Zhen looked at him. Teacher, why don't the disciples find another prey? As long as the cultivation breaks through the Yuanzhong, we can kill Xiao Yang again. I don't believe it. Someone will die for him this time. Xu Zhensen smiled and showed a bloodthirsty look in his eyes. With a sudden grip of his 5 fingers, his ferocious strength crushed his empty life. It was terrible, but the remaining poison on one side saw this, but the look on his old face suddenly changed. He quickly shouted, "Don't be a poisonous hand. You know that it can help you improve your accomplishments. But if you want to break through the bottleneck with this, don't you want to die? As a teacher, you are the only disciple. What if you have learned all your life except things?" Hearing the speech, Xu Zhen tightened his face, frowned lightly, and quickly apologized. The disciple is eager for revenge. I said such impulsive words for a moment. Don't blame the teacher. However, the disciple also hopes to improve his cultivation as soon as possible and end the old affairs for the teacher. That's why. Well, I also understand your mind, but you should remember that cultivation is still step by step. Don't be too hasty. As for Xiao Yang, it's not too late to kill him in the future. The most important thing now is to practice safely. After a simple reprimand, the remaining poison patted the latter on the shoulder to show comfort. The latter bowed his head respectfully and took a little rest, which was to enter the state of cultivation again. On one side, the remaining poison looked like it. Then he nodded gently, took a breath slowly, glanced at Xu Zhen's calm face, and his expression flickered slightly in his cloudy old eyes. Immediately, his body turned into a light and swept into Xu Zhen's body again. In the quiet room, the space fluctuates unceasingly, and a surge of magnificent energy surges rapidly, forming a large air column, which flows madly into the young man sitting on the bed. In the face of such endless perfusion, his body is like a bottomless hole, allowing those surging energy to be input, but there is no overflow. Since refining the first top-grade spirit stone, Xiao Yang has kept for nearly a week. During this period, his body is as motionless as a rock. In the room, only the spirit stone with dim light in his arms and the void around his body tremble unceasingly, so that there is also heaven and earth energy surging above his house. There were bursts of whistling wind. In Xiao Yang's body, with the terrible energy contained in the best spirit stone and the refining of the burning formula, a surge of pure and extremely surging source gas flows in the meridians like a tide, and there are also many heaven and earth energy. After refining and absorption, it is transformed into pure source gas and integrated into Xiao Yang's body. However, although there is a large amount of energy in those heaven and earth, after the refining of different fire and the formula of burning, there is naturally not much pure source gas that Xiao Yang can absorb at last, but it is better than nothing. Moreover, the matter of cultivation is not achieved overnight. Everything is a river with accumulated water, which is also an extremely terrible degree over time. Otherwise, if you want to rely solely on foreign objects to improve your strength, the results will not be good from beginning to end. No matter how good the cultivation resources are, they are only a shortcut to foreign objects after all. If you pay too much attention, I'm afraid it will only backfire. However, if you really want to talk about breaking through cultivation with the help of spirit stones, Xiao Yang seems to be the first time. Although he used to use high-level spirit stones to help his avatar improve his strength in the past, if you really talk about it, it is not Xiao Yang's own use. Therefore, it is not a preference for foreign objects. Under Xiao Yang's cultivation, the best spirit stone in his arms has only lasted a week, and most of the heaven and earth energy contained in it has been absorbed by Xiao Yang. Naturally, he has successfully promoted to Sanxingyuan Emperor. It seems that he has reached the stage of Sanxingyuan Queen, and there is little difference from the 4 stars. He has not absorbed all the source qi in his body. Xiao Yang then took out another top-grade spirit stone, coupled with the continuous infusion of heaven and earth energy around him. However, for a long time, his cultivation was a breakthrough again, and he has reached the 4-star Source Emperor. However, all this is obviously not over yet. There is still a lot of energy left in the best spirit stone in his arms. Perhaps his cultivation can break through to the 5-star Source Emperor at one fell swoop. As soon as he thought about this, Xiao Yang's heart suddenly became hot, and the void around him fluctuated more and more violently. At the same time, a thick and pure energy also poured into the cyclone in his body. The joint action of the best spirit stone and the energy of heaven and earth made Xiao Yang's breath more consolidated. In just a few hours, he was completely stable in the early days of the 4-star Source Emperor. In the next few days, Xiao Yang used all his mind to absorb the pure energy in the best spirit stone, which also made the source gas flowing in his body's meridians more surging and vigorous. Each operation will bring nearly endless powerful power to himself. This sense of fullness accelerated the rising speed of Xiao Yang's breath. Until the queen of the 4-star source, the energy in the spirit stone was gradually scarce, and the source gas between heaven and earth around the body was slowly insufficient to support it. If it continued like this, I'm afraid Xiao Yang's breath would stop here. But the more this time comes, the more calm Xiao Yang is. He continues to absorb the mottled energy between heaven and earth for his own use. At the same time, he is constantly converging all the source qi left in the body's meridians and suppressing it back to the cyclone space. The so-called one-drum effort, now that he has reached this point, if he can fight with all his strength, once a strong breakthrough is made, Xiao Yang's strength will be improved again. When the cyclone space in the body was completely overflowing and the meridians were also filled with source gas, Xiao Yang shook his body slightly and slowly clenched his fists. His eyebrows and eyes tightened. A sense of urgency formed in the body, suppressed the cyclone space and made it change. The source gas that was already filled in the body was no longer at ease. With the gradual increase of the pressure in his body, Xiao Yang's body seemed as if a wild beast wanted to rush out angrily. This situation lasted for more than an hour. Xiao Yang on the bed was already full of sweating, and his face was red. The breath in his body was more and more tight, and he was about to burst. The void around his body was constantly stirring, and invisible space ripples spread. The furniture decorations in the whole room were shaking until a certain moment. Xiao Yang suddenly looked up with his eyes closed and his eyes wide open, showing ferocity. His 2 fists with green tendons were pounding in front of his chest. When a powerful energy ripple swept through, there was also an invisible barrier in Xiao Yang's body, which was suddenly broken. Drink! At the same time, Xiao Yang's body suddenly shook, his body stood up, and the breath held in his chest suddenly turned into a long roar like thunder, which unexpectedly lifted the roof, and the startling cry spread like a bolt from the blue. In Tianyun Villa, many people's faces suddenly changed. White Birch and Liana, Luo Jin and Li Bingrue, Little Golden Dragon Scale, as well as Huazhu and the high-level members of the Luo family, they all came quickly, but they saw that Xiao Yang was standing in the void, his clothes and robes were broken, revealing his white and strong body, and his powerful momentum was spreading out from within himself. However, this is not the end. Cultivation breakthrough. Between heaven and earth, the majestic energy of heaven and earth is pulled again. A huge energy wind roll is formed above Xiao Yang's head. The hurricane roars. The huge energy column goes straight into his body from Xiao Yang's head. Under the crazy refining of different fire, In a short moment, all of it is refined into stocks of pure source gas and collected into his body until the storm dissipates. Xiao Yang's breath is also completely stable in the early days of the 5-star Source Emperor. The whole process only lasted less than half a month. In half a month, he jumped from the source of 2 stars to 5 stars in one fell swoop. Although this is mostly due to the effect of the best spirit stone, it is still Xiao Yang's own opportunity. This is indeed the envy of many people. This video will end here.